Taylor, fourth straight win, but are you concerned that the team hasn't been able to build or maintain distance really over the past month in the way the team did earlier in the season?
Uh, I wouldn't call it concern or alarming. I'm aware of our inability right now to stretch leads or but it's kind of the nature of the season right now. I mean, I got to give credit to the four teams that we played. Like how hard they've been playing. Everyone's playing for different reasons, but these guys are coming out playing extremely hard. I mean, I did think tonight we got a little careless with the game, especially when we built a 19-point lead, and then I thought we had kind of a back and forth for a stretch there, like the first half of the third quarter, and then we just had some careless plays on offense, lack of some discipline on the defensive side. The offensive rebounding hurt us for sure. We're not getting 50-50 balls, and then boom, it just became an avalanche. And luckily, our guys found a way. I mean, we got to find the positive through this, that we still found a way to win these games, regardless of who we're playing, where we're playing. But definitely, our standard is something that we have to be aware of, being more consistent in for 48 minutes. And proud of the resolve down the stretch. I mean, we hadn't seen a zone defense in a really long time. It was like a morphed zone, 2-3, 3-2, 1-3-1, two stack, all that. It definitely threw us for a loop. So something to go back and watch and be better prepared for. And there was still just enough possessions there without a play call that we just kept driving it, kicking it, all that, and we got great looks. But it definitely threw our rhythm off, and it got them a spark. And luckily, we were able to make just enough plays down the stretch. So we got to put full 48 minutes together and not be so careless.
Coach, right here. Luke Kennard got you 30 points off the bench, his best shooting performance since January. Can you just talk about the performance he had tonight, and what were the nerves like whenever you saw his three ball just spinning around on that rim until it fell?
Well, it was great. I thought, we talked about going into the game that the paint was going to be taken away from us. We were going to have our opportunities every now and then, but our relocations, where our movement was going to be as we were trying to move the defense off of a drive or a ball screen, making that secondary, kick swing pass or like that hockey assist. I thought he was our best mover off the ball tonight, and he got rewarded for it. And credit to the other guys that were in those positions to make the kickouts. Various guys, John in particular, Des in particular, Scotty at times, Vince at times. Just the ball movement just found other guys. 2 games in a row where we shot the ball pretty well from the 3-point line, which is impressive, and we need all 30 of his points. And that one at the end, I mean, I think it was pretty open, and it was off of a multiple action, pass sequence. We definitely needed that one because it was definitely back and forth. They had a 1-point lead, a 2-point lead. We had a 1-point lead, 2-point lead, and then we finally got that one stop to put it up 5, and then luckily Markkanen missed that shot, and we were able to close out a victory.
Hey, Coach, the rebound differential, was that something they were doing or something you were not doing in this game?
Both. I mean, they're one of the top offensive rebounding teams in the league. I thought we actually did a pretty decent job in the first half numerically. They didn't overly kill us on second chance points. It looks like it's 13, but 17. I mean, it just created more. It's just wear and tear that you're having to go through. But second half especially, it just got really loose. And, obviously we were playing small, but there were some dynamic factors there for the offense. I thought BC was doing a pretty solid job in the zone offense in the third quarter, so I kind of went to that. But, we definitely got hurt. We got to collectively, get better, even if we're playing small ball out there. So definitely an area that we've got to improve on, big or small. But that definitely was something that's a strength of theirs that we needed to do a better job of, and we're going to see them one more time. So big focal point in the game plan.
Taylor, even with going small against a Utah team that had Collins, Markkanen, Kessler out there, what sort of advantages do you think that smaller lineup posed, even with the size differential and the rebounding differential?
Yeah, I mean,
as well?
it's. I mean, they definitely went to the zone, so that kind of negated maybe some of our offensive, advantages. Playing small, our airtime decisions and driving them and getting by their length and kicking out and putting them in rotations, which I thought we had until they went to the zone. And then when we were in the zone, it was just clunky for us. So I was just kind of piece together, having Luke out there shooting the ball great, Ja big time threes, Des big time threes. So having that stretchability out there, even with their length and size, having those playmakers that hopefully we're going to break through, and not always just a pick and roll, but a kick out to a drive and then a relocation on that. Like, again, we only had that maybe 15-20% of the time. The rest of the time it was just super clunky. But I tried to go with my gut on who I thought was going to kind of break through the zone offensively, and we were just going to have to scrap on the defensive side. We were switching 1 through 4, trying to keep Kessler off the boards was a challenge, but I liked our physicality on the ball, against a drive-heavy team.
Taylor right here in the back. There was, I know people have talked about Gigi's defense. There was a sequence where it looked like he got lost in the second quarter. You call timeout, kind of clapped his direction and yelled something at him. What was said? What did you see on that possession that clearly had you at least a little bit upset?
Yeah, I mean, to his credit, I mean, he understood what his mistakes were. Collier had just gone down left-handed every single time and half court and transition, so it was just about cleaning that up and tying it up on the defensive side. And he owned that. He recognized where he could get better in his communication, and his point of attack defense could have cleaned up. So love that he recognized it, and he's gonna be better from it.
Coach in the back. Obviously, Utah was able to close the gap there in that third quarter, but kind of in the fourth, a lot of energy from Brandon Clark, especially in the beginning, and then Scotty as well with his defense. And we know you call upon him for that all the time, but how big was that in that fourth quarter to kind of help you guys pull away?
That was big time. I mean, I talked about going into the fourth quarter, how the first three quarters we were just really careless. We were kind of nonchalant with the game. We had to tighten it up. We have an opportunity right here, the last 12 minutes to set a tone here defensively with our activity. And, we talked about the zone offense because we needed to be organized there. And, their defensive activity was huge. I mean, BC created a couple steals there, creates that 50-50 ball. We get the timeout. I don't think we converted on the next possession, but that just was a spark that we needed. Those guys, we lean on them a lot for a lot of different things, but especially on the defensive side, whether it's point of attack defense with Scotty, then we start switching, and then BC's on these guards and, putting friction and resistance on them on the perimeter. He's getting a whole lot better in that area, and those guys were huge for us tonight.
Taylor, what is it that you want to consistently see from Luke Kennard from the perspective of how he can, when he gets looks, they're falling for the most part, but how he can consistently get these looks and consistently have these type of attempts on a night-to-night basis?
Yeah, I mean, I think give him a lot of credit. I mean, he's also been one of our best playmakers throughout the season, for stretches. Tonight for him to, have a showing like that, it's awesome. I mean, it's him staying committed to the aggressiveness with his movement. That was a huge emphasis. We worked on that this morning. But also it's his teammates finding him, find him in transition. I saw Ja trying to, find him in transition. It's Dez coming off a ball screen and them saying, hey, Luke, I need you to be here because they knew where the ball was going to probably end up. And then teammates in the corner making a kick swing to him. But whether it's a shot or him getting downhill, obviously you get to the mid-range, he can obviously kick out and get a bunch of assists there. So I just want him to just go out there, play aggressive, maintain those movement patterns, but it's also at the end of the day his teammates, being aggressive and finding them. Great. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.